At MegaCorp, they don't just give you a job, they give you a test of endurance. My rite of passage was the Great Validation, a quarterly task so mind-numbing, so soul-crushingly tedious, it was rumored to be designed by a committee that hated joy. The job? Manually check 20,000 spreadsheet entries against a database built when the internet still made dial-up noises. My manager, Brenda, presented it with the gravity of a sacred ritual. "This builds character, Leo," she'd said, gesturing to a tower of printouts that cast a shadow over my cubicle. The official process involved a piece of software called DataSure, which was anything but sure. It would take at least 3 weeks of clicking, copying, and pasting. 3 weeks of my life, draining away, one cell at a time. For the first 2 days, I played by the rules. I clicked, I copied. I felt my brain cells committing ritual suicide. By Wednesday, I was done. Not with the work, but with the process. There's a certain kind of lazy that isn't about avoiding work, it's about avoiding stupid work. This was my calling. That night, fueled by stale coffee and spite, I started digging. The database was an ancient beast, but even ancient beasts have back doors. Tucked away in a forgotten developer form from 1998, I found it. A reference to an undocumented API, a key, a glorious, beautiful key to the kingdom. The script took me less than an hour to write, a simple Python loop, a few API calls. It was elegant, efficient, and profoundly rebellious. I hit run and held my breath. The terminal flickered to life. Lines flew past the screen. In 15 minutes, it was done. 3 weeks of manual labor vaporized by 50 lines of code. But you can't be a genius and a fool on the same day. Handing in 3 weeks of work in 15 minutes would get me questions, not a promotion. So I wrote a second script. Let's call it The Drip. Its only job was to submit my perfectly validated data to the system at a believable, humanly slow pace over the next 3 weeks. For the next 3 weeks, I was the model employee. My screen showed the DataSure tool chugging along while I was actually reading programming textbooks, learning a new language, and secretly perfecting my Minesweeper game. Brenda would walk by, patting me on the back for my focus and diligence. I'd just nod, give her a weary but determined smile, and go back to my work. I left MegaCorp a year later for a job that actually used my brain. They say my old department's productivity on the Great Validation tanked the next quarter. Apparently, they found my script on the old machine, a file named for emergency use only.py. I didn't just automate a task, I became a legend. A lazy, efficient, glorious legend.